Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Tuesday, February 9th, 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2021. The models are in, and it's a sin. They're not changing. But heavy snow in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, and it's coming Valentine's weekend. But the big story is the cold. Snow, ice, bitter cold. Winter to hit hard this week as polar vortex descends across the nation. A frigid nation at that. Keep calm. It's boom time. Arctic air grips the Midwest. Very active weather pattern in central and eastern U.S. At least 28 states now have winter weather alerts. That's quite a few. Very active cold and dangerous weather pattern remains locked in place over the central and eastern U.S. At least 28 states now have winter weather alerts for 3 different weather stories, including a massive ice storm that's coming. And I'm certain there are certain people that are bumming. First, the Arctic air over the Midwest will persist through the rest of the week and into the weekend. And there are wind chill alerts from Montana to Illinois this morning for dangerous wind chills. And even though some moderation is likely for a couple of days, it will be bitterly cold, and temperatures are going to remain well below average, maybe sub-zero all the way down to the Gulf Coast. And if you think it's cold now, just wait until the weekend. Haba, haba, haba. Happy Valentine's Day. Arctic outbreak heading south, near record cold possible. Meteorologists suggest a prepped for extreme cold now. That means pipes freezing and you losing. So step it up. Step up your game. Proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. Sioux City escapes record cold but will remain frigid for another week. What a tweak. Sioux City. Is that Iowa? I think so. Well, one area that's not going to escape the record cold, and he's nodding, is Kansas City, which is in the deep freezer. Record cold temperatures likely. Take out the current 13 degrees there tonight, 10. Tomorrow, 17. What does that mean? Kansas City, Missouri. Buckle up and bundle up in KC. The coldest air we have seen in quite some time in Kansas City is setting up for the long haul. We are barely touching the double digits for highs early this week. Then track on chances for snow in the midweek. What a tweak. It could be record-setting in Kansas City when they stay in the single digits all day. Winter weather and extreme cold this week in North Texas, the nexus of the schmexis. The first shot of cold air has arrived, and temperatures are 20 to 30 degrees colder than Monday, which was the fun day. Polar vortex is setting the stage for a crippling ice storm. And he wore his best thin tie and tight suit to tell you all about it. But you could see this ice storm goes from central Texas, the nexus of the schmexis, all the way up through Washington, D.C. and the Northeast. February is barely a week old, but it has already featured a historic nor'easter, brutally cold Arctic temperatures, and a spate of deadly avalanches across the U.S., killing up to a dozen people in just a week. Now, Mother Nature is upping the ante with the potential for a crippling ice storm and rounds of heavy snow. Ho, ho. Christmas seems like decades ago. Winter storm watches are in effect for 10 million people across more than a half a dozen states from Arkansas to West Virginia. New York City could be hit with 8 inches of snow in another storm this week. And let's check the models. First, let's refresh them to see if that helps us out here. Oh, yes. And we'll let that parse up, and we'll get to weather.gov. Frigid temperatures, dangerous wind chills, ice storms, and heavy snow across the U.S. The weather theme for much of the U.S. the rest of this week and weekend will be bitterly cold temperatures and dangerous wind chills, especially in the central third of the U.S. This extensive Arctic air mass will contribute to a few winter events. Ice and snow is likely from the southern plains to the mid-Atlantic Wednesday through Friday, and a winter storm will also impact late this week. So we have wind chill warnings and watches up here. And we're talking Nebraska, North South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Heads up. You're going to be freezing here, including Montana. So be safe, be prepared, and make sure you have backup heat. And before we get to the European model, which is also stalled out, we'll just discuss it. It's going to take way too long to parse these up during the show. Here we're going to walk you through the weather out. We have light snow moving through the Midwest here Thursday. Yes, sir. So here's your Wednesday. Light snow moving through the Midwest into Thursday morning, where you're going to see that heavy blast of snow in western Maryland and eastern West Virginia, as well as southern central PA. Take a look. Here is your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday progression. A heavy chunk of snow is going to move through Arkansas, a little bit in Louisiana. Take a look at that in Mississippi. And that's going to move up through western Tennessee, which is far east of David Dubine, thankfully. But that pocket is really what people are worried about. And here we have heavy systems moving into Washington and Oregon as well. Snow moving into the Sierras. That will continue to increase. We're going to have snow moving into our region over the weekend. And that's the Valentine storm we're talking about right there. Boom. And that could be bringing heavy snow all the way through all of northern Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Like a schmanzus. We won't go much further out than that, except to say there's going to be deep totals in the west, especially the northwest, Washington State and Oregon. Even the Sierras could be picking up a foot or two. And take a look at that model right through February 16th and 17th.
From WFAA Weather, this is your day.
Wow. Thank God we blocked that off. But heavy snow moving in all the way down to southern Texas, all of Louisiana potentially. And this could be an interesting setup. Yes, for February, we're already seeing record totals in snow in the northern hemisphere. So heads up. And here we are coming over to Europe, where we could see the same thing. Here's the Black Sea, and it's showing 1 to 2 meters of snow along the entire eastern rim here. What did I just do? Who knew I could do that? I could just erase it all. So not coming back there anytime soon. Let's see what this does. Yep, that's just going to erase that for us, folks. Hello. Well, heavy snow in Eastern Europe, as well as Russia and all around the Black Sea, and we're going to be reporting on that as records are broken. Now, polar vortex breaks temperature records across the prairies. Bitter cold expected to linger. What would you expect up in Canada? Environment Canada has issued a cold weather warning for Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. You're already stuck inside, so does it matter? Does it matter? Total snow mass for the northern hemisphere, excluding the mountains, eclipsing the 30-year average, going back to 82. That's the 40-year average at this point. And it is now off the charts, going up, up, and away. And with the snow that is being produced now, we should hit records above 3,500 gigatons, in my opinion, in the coming 3 weeks. So we're going to keep a close eye on that as the Arctic has descended. Snowstorms and ice bring much of Europe to a standstill. We covered this yesterday, but we'll reiterate, the Arctic has descended. Germany and the Netherlands were hit by huge snowstorms in the last 48 to 72 hours on Sunday, February 7th, bringing parts of the countries to a standstill. Holland's meteorological agency, the KNMI, issued extremely rare cold red alert throughout the country. Hasn't happened for a decade, folks, which experienced its first substantial snowstorm in that time frame. And here you can see some of the pictures. The Dutch government closed all coronavirus testing centers. Oh, my goodness. And here Roy Spencer posting the January data before NOAA can manipulate it and make it look like we're all freezing to death or burning up. I'm sorry. I'm saying the facts, so it's hard for me to get away from the facts. What you can see here are facts. 3.3 degrees C drop in just the last 60 days, bringing us back to temperatures colder than 87. Hello. How many of you were born then? And here we see the Arctic sea ice volume increasing epically as it goes up, up, and away, approaching that multi-decadal line and eclipsing the green and the red, which are 2018 and 17. So we're now moving up, up, and away in Arctic ice. The extent is epic. It goes all across the entire Arctic. Hasn't been a year in many years where the ice is covering the entire Arctic like this. I mean, it's pretty substantial. And the mainstream is like, peeps. Seismic update, no quakes of note, except for some rift activity in Central Republic of Congo, 4.5, showing the Earth is growing and spreading. Now let's go to worldwide volcano news update. Cinnabung, haven't heard from that in a while, popped at 15,000 feet just moments ago, as well as Sangay to 21,000 feet, Sakurajima blasting to just 9,000. Just a standard puff, 15,000 at Reventador. We also have Abiko coming in at 7,000 feet. Suwanosima, 4,000. And some more puffs from Sangay at 22, Fuego at 14, Sabancay at 25, Reventador, and so on. Normal activity, but there is Semi-Sepoichnoi volcano news and activity updates. Semi-Sepoichnoi volcano in Alaska, alert level raised to orange. The Alaska Volcano Observatory, or AVO, raised the alert level of the volcano to orange after detecting evidence of continuing eruptions in the past days. High-resolution satellite imagery on Feb 7 shows a small ash deposit extending 3 kilometers to the northeast from the North Cerebus crater on Semi-Sepoichnoi Island, similar to the first observed on February 6. Clouds obscured views in the crater and the southern side of the volcano, and any ash clouds associated with these deposits have not been observed and are likely low level. But the entire snowfield there, for miles, covered in ash. And so that is raised to the second highest potential level, orange, right before red, before it's boom time, kids. So there's that. Tesla buys $1.5 billion in Bitcoin after the CEO, Elon Musk, tweets about Dogecoin, sending it to 8 cents. Any of you that had tens or thousands of Dogecoins at 1/10 of a cent are laughing all the way to the bank, like Diamond is. And so Bitcoin is soaring based on the purchase from a mainstream emerging company like Tesla. $1.5 billion buy in Bitcoin took the price from $38,000 to $48,000 in just 36 hours. Hours of powers. Now, I only own a little bit of Bitcoin. Most of my holdings are in the top 20 cryptocurrencies, and they've increased over 500% in the last 6 months. And here we see Bitcoin rising 300% in the last 3 months. It was $16,000, kids, 18 just 3 months ago. Ho, ho, ho. And to prove it to you, I'll show you the 3-month chart, which is not a fart. But if you're not involved, back here it was down at 15,300 3 months ago, and it popped as high as, take a look at that, 46,588, the new Bitcoin high. Are you dabbing? I am. I have huge holdings in 0x and Stella, which I told you all to buy at 9 cents. Dropped down to 8 cents. I said, buy, buy, buy. It's now at 40 cents, and you could have quadrupled your money in just 3 months. Silver as well, about to pop. So that's what's happening. And we have time to prepare. We have several years. I just took out a huge chunk of my earnings from one of my crypto accounts to fund the upcoming investigation into the petroglyphs at Horseshoe Canyon, as well as Shea Canyon and Newspaper Rock this weekend in Green River, Utah. And I've got hotel rooms and everything and still have a lot left over. And I didn't even affect the upswing of my account. I just took out a few G's and it just kept going and going, like the Energizer Bunny. And that's how you do that. Now, known magnetic excursions, we know that every about 12,500 years there's a magnetic excursion attempting to reverse the polarity of the planet. It hasn't done so in 780,000 years. And, well, on Magnetic Reversal News, we have a video up just an hour ago or so, depending on when you're watching this, when Earth's magnetic poles flip with the latest data. And we go over all of these charts, including the timeline to destruction, and explain why proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance in the future. Because we're headed back to the Stone Age, folks. And if you don't care about that or you're bummed out, you could just watch Lord of the Flies and learn how a bunch of kids learn how to survive on an island and the resulting effects of being thrown back into that scenario. It's that simple, and it's all free. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel at Magnetic Reversal News and watch the video. Well, on Steam or Patreon, because it's commercial free there. No magnetic excursions happen on a regular, episodic, and periodic nature. The timeline destruction, well, that's our own making. And so here we are at 2021, headed towards 2025, solar cycle max of cycle 25. And there's only 2 years left to prepare to survive and thrive in the future. At some point, our waning magnetosphere and the sun will outburst, and it will start to grid failure across the country. And then eventually there will be Stone Age for an extended period because we cannot build back better. Well, you know who says that.
From WFAA.
I love that. So get her done. And thanks for watching the show. And that's a boom to knowledge. Hope you got something out of the video. Proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance in the future. That is a grid down scenario. If you want to get more, check out Magnetic Reversal News. Watch the video. Links will be below. When Earth's magnetic field flips, exposing humans to radiation and global blackouts. And there it is. We have 1,000 views already in just the first hour, so it must be fantastic. Be safe. We love you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do here. Hit the thumbs up and comment below. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. And that's a boom to knowledge. Click on one of the other boxes to gain more of it. No, 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 no.